Hi, this is Cindy from VintageToNew, and we just finished a little pocket in our book using planner paper. I love this paper. It is really thin but very strong, and it has the little dots on it instead of lines. And I'm going to show you how I harvested it out of an old planner that I have that I'm not using. So if you find books, planners that have been sewn, the signatures are sewn, you open it up to the center of the signature, which is right here. And I love using a seam ripper that you use in sewing, and you just get down under that little piece of thread and clip under each one, going all the way up. And sometimes it's a little tricky, but if you are patient, and you don't want to cut your paper right here, so be careful not to get down and get the paper, just the string. But you have, this one is double threaded, so you have to get both. Like so. Takes a minute, but it's worth the reward. All right. One more. Ta-da. Okay. So then you just very carefully take both sheets of the paper, both sides of the sheet, and pull gently, making sure that you did get it. Yep, I did. So it's just stuck a little bit. There we go. So it's pulled out, and you have the little holes where the thread was, but that's okay. So in this particular book, I believe they only used 4 sheets of paper per signature. This one, maybe I didn't get it all the way. I didn't, so I was ripping that top sheet. That's not good. So you be more careful. But it's still not the end of the world. Much better. And sometimes in most books, the last page of the signature, they glue it to the next signature to give it some strength. So this one may or may not work. It's not going to come out without some ripping. We can still use that sheet of paper, but not for what we're going to do right now. So set this one aside. Okay, so I want to put my signature together. This is only 3 sheets, but that's plenty. And this particular book was 8 inches tall, so I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. Boy, you think I'd have this figured out by now. Okay, so 4 inches tall. Make sure it's nice and lined up. 4 inches. Boom. So now we have this. Now, if you wanted to have a larger signature than the 3 pages that this is, you could add 1 more, 2 more, or you could even add all 3. And this paper is so thin, it is still a nice weight. So let me show you what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to go sew using the longest thread length, longest stitch length on my machine. And I'm going to back stitch at the top, back stitch at the bottom, longest stitches in between. So here is my 6-page booklet with the stitching down the middle. All right. So then, if you're going to use this in a pocket in your journal, if we wanted to use it in the pocket that's here in the back, we would need to cut it down in length, or it could pop out the top. let me see here. There we go. So we could cut it down so it came out a little bit across the top. You don't want it to flip out in past your signatures. All right. Or we could make a pocket inside, maybe one of these kind of pockets. You could make it fit down in there, cut it off or something like that. Or one of these pockets. Anyway. Or you could use one of the pockets on the inside, but you'd have to plan ahead. This one is a little bit too wide for this one. And I can't cut it now because I would be cutting through my stitches. But let's just say we made it a little bit more narrow. You could slide it down in there and leave the length. See how it would fit if it was narrower. Okay, so that's just some of the uses for it. I want to take some time and finish. I want to take some time and finish the edge of this little tablet. My original planner had rounded edges. So let's go ahead and round some of these. See, this paper's so thin. That was like 4 sheets, and my little edge rounder had no trouble clipping it. All right. The other thing is you don't have to just leave it as a plain little tablet. We could embellish it any way that we want. You could take a piece of cardstock, fold it, cut it to the right size, and add a really nice little finishing touch on the top if we wanted. You could add a cover to it. So I just wanted to show you how to harvest the pages out of the book and how to sew them together to make a nice little signature. So this was just a really quick little video today for getting some book pages for your journal. So until next time, this was Cindy from Vintage to New.